Good morning, everyone, and welcome to EduTap. So we are back with yet another interview of RBI Grade B 2019 officer, Miss Mitali Kapahi. And the unique thing about her is that she has cracked examination in her very first attempt, and that too without taking any formal coaching. So I would like to state in the beginning itself that she is not a member of any of her paid courses, but still she has managed to crack the examination in the very first attempt. So we need to learn a lot from her, that how you can do self-study, how you can use the free resources available on the internet judiciously, and how you can very well crack the examination under guidance for in the first attempt itself. So Mitali, first of all, welcome to EduTap, and heartiest congratulations from the entire team on cracking the examination, that too in the first attempt.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Mitali, would you like to start with your background first? Please tell in brief about your educational qualifications and the various examinations that you appeared for.
Yeah, yeah. So I completed my BTech in 2016, and thereafter I worked in an IT company for 2 years. I left my job to prepare for UPSC, UPSC CSE, but when I couldn't clear the pre-exam in 2019, I thought of going for other exams. I prepared for many IBPS exams, and I also prepared for RBI Grade B, and luckily I was able to clear it in the first attempt. Yeah.
Right. So she also has a UPSC background. I'm sure you people must be thinking कि सारे UPSC वाले क्यों clear करते हैं, सारे engineers क्यों clear करते हैं. So that is
Yeah.
not the case. I understand that the majority of people who clear the examination are engineers, but that is not the कि 100% जो clear कर रहे हैं वो सारे engineers हैं. That is not the case, Mitali, right?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. We have many people in our batch who do not have any background
Yeah.
in UPSC, and they have also cleared. So I guess there are members from various fields and various
Mhm.
experiences, I would say.
I understand.
Yeah.
So, Mitali, I'll start with this question itself. That coming from appearing for the prelims for the first time, not clearing it as far as UPSC is concerned, and then
Yeah.
switching to RBI Grade B. So,
Yeah.
how easy or how difficult was that decision? Because generally, what I feel, because personally I have given civil services many times,
Yeah.
that after the first prelims, you get sort of charged that okay, agla prelims nikal dunga ya nikal dungi. But leaving
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the first prelims must have been hard, right?
Yeah, and I had a strategy in mind that because in the 1 year I had prepared for UPSC, I had known what UPSC really needs, and I had known the demand of the paper, and I knew that I could clear it thereafter. But while preparing, I had a sort of mental pressure in my mind. I wanted that independence earning thing, and I thought that maybe if I'll get a job, then I can keep on preparing for UPSC. That was my main factor. I wasn't leaving UPSC. I was just putting it on hold for some time, that I'll come back to it after getting a job. So yes, that was the main. I
Right.
haven't yeah.
Yeah, strategic planning, I would say.
Yeah.
Right. It's very good. Actually, we were talking earlier also. So it's really good if you understand that, okay, this is not my cup of tea at this moment. I'll
Yeah.
come back to it and let me get a job first.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
that is not a bad decision at all. Right.
Yeah.
ठीक है जी. Mitali, you were telling us that you also appeared for various IBPS examinations.
Yeah.
So did that preparation help you in RBI Grade B?
Yeah, after the prelims of UPSC CSC, I filled many forms. Like there were two forms of Provident Fund Organization (EPFO). There was
Hmm.
two forms,
Hmm.
and the syllabus is similar in many IBPS exams, at least the pre and main syllabus. And I also had prepared for IBPS PO exam this year only. Yeah. So for the phase one, that preparation definitely helped. The quant reasoning and English preparation, that definitely helped. Yeah.
Right. So you did not do I think, anything specific for quant reasoning English when it came to RBI Grade B, because you were already prepared giving the examinations of other bodies.
Yeah, but my approach was mainly the mock test driven for those exams also. I
Okay.
used to give the mock test, and I used to analyze that which topic I'm weak at, and then I used to watch
Hmm.
those videos. And for some topics, I thought that I was slower in these topics, so I used to see which tricks and tips and tricks can be applied to do it faster. Mainly, my approach for all the exams was mock test driven only.
I understand. Abhitali, is for people, let's say, who are starting their RBI Grade B preparation, and
Yeah,
let's assume that they do not have any background in UPSC, or
yeah,
they do not have any background of appearing for SSC or IBPS examinations.
sure.
So for them, as far as phase one is concerned, to the quant reasoning and English part, should they start with mock tests, or should they start chapter wise?
I think giving a mock test is very important because you get to know the type of questions, and also like I feel that it also that you know the type of questions, and also you know the difficulty level. So for any exam you prepare, I think giving a mock test first is very important to actually know what the exam is going to consist of.
Hmm.
Because if we start, it also depends on the time we have. But I think if you have a limited time, then a mock test approach based approach works best. Otherwise, you can just keep doing the basics of the topic, but I think that takes a lot of time
Hmm.
because you have to cover every topic and then you have to increase the difficulty also. I
Hmm.
think that I would always prefer the mock test based approach. Yeah.
Understood. But many students, they when they attempt a mock test and they score, let's say, out of 120 marks, if we leave the GA part alone, out of
Yeah.
120, let's say they score 30 in the first mock test.
Yeah.
So they feel really demotivated that okay, we cannot clear the examination. But they don't fail to understand that this was the first mock test.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Definitely.
it can only move up from here because 30 is the
Yeah.
lowest, I think, and you can only move up from here. So what would you like to say to them? Should they continue the mock test approach with patience, or what should they do?
I think they should continue because the thing that you said, that they need to realize that this is only a beginning and do not have a background in this. So this is a beginning. And also I think that analyzing is very important. It is more important than the your scores you're getting, because the scores of only the final test is gonna matter. So
Hmm.
the more you analyze, the more you can improve. Like I said that I used to refer to each and every question like in a very detailed manner, that how can I do it better, how can I increase in its speed, and actually to know which questions I need to attempt and which I need to leave. So I think that a person can learn from mock tests only. I
And
think for the few mock tests or the in the starting, we should not get disheartened by the scores. We should just keep on
hmm.
analyzing and improving. Yeah.
Hmm. Right. Thank you. Mitali, I'll just take one question from the chat. Ritik has asked that since you have given other examinations also of
Yeah.
IBPS, so with which examination can you compare the level of quant of RBI Grade B?
I think IBPS PO means, I would say. But this time the quant was
IBPS
easier.
is.
Yeah, this time it
Hmm.
was easier. Otherwise, it's on a tougher side. Like people are able to get only 10 marks or 8, 10 marks that.
Hmm.
But this time it was easier. I would say this time it was, I cannot say that it was a pre-level, but it was also not of mains level. It was
Hmm.
somewhat in between
Okay.
because people were able to score good this time in quant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because of the sectional timing, maybe they put in some easy questions.
Yeah, that
That
could be a factor. That
yeah.
could definitely be a
Yeah.
factor. Yeah.
Right. ठीक है. Mitali, now coming to the current affairs part,
Yeah.
the GA part of phase one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me just take this opportunity to tell the viewers the score of Mitali. She scored 23 out of 30 in quant, then 27 out of 16 reasoning, which is a very good score. Then 28.75 out of 30 in English, excellent score, and 59.75 out of 80 in GA. So let me come to the GA section, Mitali. What did you do for this?
For GA, as I said, like I had started preparing for RBI only after the notification was out. Uh, and the day I started preparing, I started reading the daily current affairs, and I started making their one-liner notes in my OneNote app. I started making one-liner notes so that I could revise it from there only. And I referred to the current affairs of the past 6 months. And for the previous months, I used to refer to Affairs Cloud monthly PDF and the Hindu Review by Bankers Adda. Used to refer to these two sources, and I revised them there. These only my own notes and these PDFs. I revised this only. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mitali, why did you choose 6 months? Why not 3 months or 4 months or 5 months?
Uh, yeah, I had referred to many topper talks, and they said that six is a like comfortable bracket. But I think mainly the questions, I think more focus should be laid on the recent current affairs. Like previous 2 3 months have a lot of weightage.
Hmm.
So if a person has a lesser time, they should definitely do the like the last 2 3 months, and they can leave the 6 months part. I
Hmm.
wanted to be in a comfortable bracket because the GA has a lot of weightage.
Hmm.
So that's why, yeah.
I understand. And one more question out of G, like you told us that you made your notes in OneNote app.
Yeah.
So, how to do notes making? Because if you read the compilation or if you even read the newspaper, then you have to obviously eliminate a lot of things and note down only the
Yeah.
keywords or the key points.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
what are those key points? What do I have to note and what do I have to skip while making my own notes? Where did you get that knowledge or how did you manage that?
I think previous year questions helped in that because RBI in phase one at least does not ask in very detail. They're just gonna ask that
Hmm.
like if someone is appointed, they're just gonna ask if he's appointed in which bank, or the name of that person, or some event is happening, where it is being held. So I think previous year helps in that, what to cover. And I think
I
notes should be
understand.
one liner for phase one. Definitely, they should be one liner, because we have a habit of making big, hefty notes, but they are not helpful and they are not easy to revise.
Yeah. And that one line has to be relevant. We don't have to just,
Yeah,
pick up anything
that's
and make that one line.
yeah, that's definitely
Right.
there.
So again, please note this point, dear students, that previous year questions are really, really important, so that you are able to, understand that what is important and how you need to do your notes making, so that you do not end up noting down the irrelevant stuff. And
Yeah,
again, the relevant stuff is noted down and you are able to revise it later on multiple times. So
yeah.
how many revisions, Mitali, did you do for your GA part?
I think I was able to 2 or 3 revisions, but that because I was making handmade notes, so all the written, like I was making notes on my own, so I had some of that in my memory, and less revisions also helped
Okay, I
because
understood.
yeah,
Right. Any difficulty you faced because of the sectional timing introduced by RBI 2019 phase one?
yeah, it was my first attempt, so I think because
Okay,
I was
no
giving other,
offense.
yeah, I was giving other IBPS exams also, and they already had a sectional timing, so that wasn't much of a difficulty for me.
अच्छा आपके लिए normal था वो, right?
Yeah.
Right, right. Fine. ठीक है, I'll just again take one question from the chat. A person is asking, his name is Lokeshwar, that how important is PIB for phase one?
PIB. I don't
For
think
phase
it.
one. Hmm.
I think for phase two, it has much more importance to cover the schemes. For this phase one, the CA can be covered from the compilations only, I feel.
I
Yeah,
understand. Right. And again, another aspirant is asking, did you follow the top 100 MCQ PDF of Affairs Cloud or Pocket PDF?
top 100 MCQ PDF,
Top
because I had
100.
a little bit less time. Yeah,
Okay,
top 100
okay.
MCQ.
Right. ठीक है जी. Mitali, now coming to the phase two part of the examination.
Yeah,
Now, coming from engineering background, but you had the help of UPSC. So, ESI static part, did you refer any books specifically for RBI Grade B, or did your UPSC preparation suffice for that?
yeah. For economics and UPSC, I used to refer to the Murnal PDF, and I guess that helped here also. I just revised that because the basics and everything was same, and that PDF is very comprehensive in itself.
Hmm.
So that helped for the ESI preparation in terms of basics of economics.
Hmm.
Other things like schemes, for schemes, I used to refer to the Vision IES PDF, the
Hmm.
PT365 government schemes PDF, and I used to supplement the schemes data with the PIB.
Hmm.
That if I used to feel that a scheme is not covered good enough in the PDF, I used to refer to the name of the scheme from PIB and add the relevant information in the PDF itself.
Hmm.
Yeah, for schemes that was there, and due to the referring to the previous year papers, I knew that the indexes and
Hmm.
reports have a lot of weightage.
Hmm.
For so from the current affairs, past 6 month current affairs, I refer to a lot of reports and made their notes and revised them repeatedly.
Hmm.
And the budget and economic survey are also important for this exam.
Hmm.
And the census summaries, I also refer to those, and some surveys like family health survey and labor force survey.
Hmm.
I read those summaries of those surveys also. Yeah, for which I felt that I am not able to read PDFs. Just used to watch a video so
Hmm.
that I can cover it in less time.
Hmm.
So yes.
Right, right. And Bitali, what weightage or what importance would you say is for the static part of ESI? Like many aspirants, they start their preparation with ESI instead of financial management or instead of quant reasoning English. They pick
Yeah.
up NCRTs of plus one, plus two. Then they
Yeah.
pick up the missing book, and then they start reading ESI. Is this the right method to start your RB Grade B preparation? Is ESI static
No,
that important?
no, I don't think it's that important, because only some concepts, I would also like to say mention the EduTap's contribution here, that the videos you had made how to cover ASI in 20 days, you had specifically given 4 or 5 chapters, that these are the important chapters and only
Hmm.
questions from this are asked. So
Hmm.
like one was inflation, I guess, one is GDP, like
Hmm.
topics like these are asked again and again. So I
Hmm.
guess if you want to cover basic, you should cover these topics first only,
Hmm.
and not go into every reading everything. And but I think covering finance and management first is better, because ESI has a wide ambit, and also the weightage of basics is not much.
Hmm.
Mainly current affairs are asked in ESI.
Understand. ठीक है. Mitali, you mentioned your one of the sources as budget and economic survey for ESI phase two.
Yeah.
Now, again, economic survey is a heavy document. It is not easy to read the economic survey.
Yeah.
And again, someone who is starting the RB Grade B preparation, that person may not be able to filter out that what do I need to read from the economic survey. Should I read
Yeah.
only the boxes, or should I read volume 1? Should I read volume 2? Should I note down all the data? Now, how do I guide the aspirants that they make notes of economic survey? Let's say they are reading the entire volume. How do they make notes out of it?
Okay. Actually, I had referred to the Vision IAS summary of the economic survey, and I guess they already like shorten the economic survey very much. But then again, we have to choose from that also which data is relevant to the RBI, because much of it is because UPSC is analytical in nature, so they prepare the economic survey summary in that way, analytic also. But we do not need much analysis. We need it for interview maybe, but we do need only data for the phase two. The thing I referred to was one of our seniors, Mr. Srirang, has prepared a blog, and he had uploaded the previous year summary of budget and economic survey and also this year's summary. So I used to refer to his notes at what all he has actually compiled, that what can be relevant. And that helped me knowing that what is relevant, what should I read from this survey,
Okay.
from this
Okay.
PDF basically.
I understand. Can you send me the link of that blog so that I can pin it in the video, pin it below the video?
Surely I'll send, yeah.
Sure. ठीक है जी, right. So for the government schemes, you referred Vision IAS PT, and along with that, you supplemented it with the PIB.
PIB, yeah.
I understand. So when you supplemented it with PIB, did you, have a specific timeline in your mind that I have to refer to schemes of only the past 1 year or 2 year or let's say 6 months, or there was
Uh,
any other criteria of, making the schemes notes?
No, actually, as I had did not have much time, so I thought that I'll cover only this PDF. That whatever is in it, I'm just going to read this only. And if something comes out from it, that I'll just manage or I'll see. I think reading schemes gives you an idea. अगर आप इतनी schemes पढ़ लेते हैं, if you read this many schemes, you know that what kind of schemes government is making, what could be the provision in this. Like I remember there was one question in this year paper that the goal scheme was asked, and it had a statement like it would provide lifelong support, cybersecurity support. So after reading all of these schemes, I had an idea that it wouldn't consist of this lifelong support we are providing. So that I think that makes in your mind that this could be an option, this couldn't be. So that gives you intuition type of thing, I would say. So, but my main source was that PDF only. And when I felt that a scheme is not covered in that PDF, only then I used to refer to the PIB. Otherwise, there was no timeline as such because I was short on time. So I hadn't decided like I'll cover 1 year or this many years of notes.
I understand.
Of
I
scheme.
understand. You have stated a very important point here. So I'll frame a question on that. How important is Tukka in the phase two paper? Because you cannot read everything. Because I'm just talking from the context of the the fresh aspirants. Now they have this notion in their mind कि सारा पढ़ के जाएंगे और सारा कुछ notes में से आ जाएगा और हमारे पेपर में 100 में से 90 नंबर आ जाएंगे. I think that is not possible.
That is definitely not an ESI, I would say.
Right.
Especially this year, so many like the Nirmaya scheme was there. I think no one could have read, even if they could have covered the schemes of the past many years. So I think that solving many questions or the MCQs, that gives you kind of instinct that this could be the right option and this how to eliminate basically. So Tukka is very important. My ESI marks, I would say many out of them would be on the Tukka basis.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Because I had to do a lot of elimination, many things I didn't even heard of. I had read about the Jal Jeevan mission, but then the options that were given there, they're highly complex and they had a lot of data in that. So I had to choose that this could be possible, they could be doing this. So yes, I think if you have to, no, you cannot attempt, I think after 30-40% of the paper from just your knowledge that I have read this. There has to be guesswork. There has to be definitely.
I think ESI is the subject जहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा तुक्का चलता है. I think GM में भी नहीं चलता तुक्का ज़्यादा और FM के
नहीं,
अंदर भी
GM में तो
चलता ज़्यादा.
डेफिनेटली नहीं.
और
GM में तो
FM में
बिल्कुल
भी.
डेटा ही होता है. हाँ,
Yeah.
FM में भी या कंसेप्चुअल, यू नो इट और यू नॉट. ESI में आप कर सकते हैं. Yes.
So dear students, तुक्का अपने अच्छे कर लो. And तुक्का does not mean कि ABCD अक्कड़ बक्कड़ बम्बे बो करके लगा दिया. No.
Yeah.
Tukka means that you have to logically guess and logically eliminate. And the more you read, the more you are able to logically eliminate. Right?
And I think the more you practice MCQs, that also helps really. I think the EduTap also has the 5 MCQ question series, I also refer to some of those videos, and that really helps in guessing or eliminating, I would say.
Okay, right. Mithali, now coming to another question from the chat. Now people are asking how to start management. Coming to the FM paper, how to start management. If they are a fresher and they do not have any finance or management background, they are from, let's say, engineering or humanities background, and how to start management.
Yeah, so I referred to EduTap's. Yeah, the notes were available on the internet, the management notes, and I found them. I think the PDF was only of around 250 pages, but it was really helpful. The language was very lucid. I was able to understand most of the concepts after reading it for the first time. So that was really helpful for me. And like through in the previous year, some French topics were being asked, some out of syllabus topics were being asked. For that, the blog that I mentioned, my senior's blog, that he had made notes of some of those topics. So I refer to those notes only. But luckily this year no question came from those French topics. Mostly the paper was from the syllabus only. I think EduTap notes really helped me in that, covering management in a wholly comprehensive way. And also I feel that for management, I felt that the leadership and motivational theories were really confusing because they had many factors, this factor, that factor. So I thought that I made the notes of them and I revised them like many times. I revised them so that I know that which theory is being asked, if a theory is being asked in paper. Yeah. So for me, revision in in management helped, and for leadership, making my own notes, handwritten notes, that really helped.
I understand. Any standard book you referred for management? Any book
No,
or
I
any
didn't have
source?
much time. The books were really bulky. I didn't have much time. Only the EduTap notes were really helpful in that, I would definitely say.
What about finance, Mithali?
Yeah, for finance, I would say like I had the least preparation for finance because of the time also. And for finance, what I did was I relied heavily on the previous year papers. I only refer to those topics. I only read the basics of those topics. Those were being asked in the previous year papers. I didn't go into the whole PDFs and details of the topics. I did not refer to that. Some of the UPSC background also helped because of the acts and FRBM Act and GST, everything. Banking also we read in UPSC, that also helped. And the risk management chapter, that was important. And I think this year the paper was also mainly current affairs based for finance also. Like the bank board bureau questions was asked. So that helped because of the CA preparation. So I did not refer to, I just, I watched some videos for finance from the basics, the Basel 3 norms, understanding all of those. And so it was a kind of mix and match for finance. I did not refer to one source. I watched some videos. I watched the 5 MCQ series for knowing some topics. For numericals also, I watched some videos. I I was not able to cover numericals in a very comprehensive way. I just refer to some easy formulas that I knew that I was able to remember. I'll be able to remember. I just refer to those only. But I think mainly the thing that the management came in a lot of, like management had a lot of more weightage than finance. That helped me. And also the covering. I think previous year paper are really the key in helping and knowing what to study and what to not if you are short on time. Otherwise, yes, a person should go for basics.
I understand. Mithali, I think you got lucky, Hana, in finance and management paper.
Exactly, yes, definitely. I'd say I got lucky, definitely, because the management was also easy and finance also. That there were no numericals. Also, there were not very tough questions. The CA part also came. I definitely say I've got lucky in
तो
this
अगर मतलब गॉड फॉरबिड अगर कुछ गलती हो जाती या एग्जाम डिफिकल्ट आ जाता तो कैसे तैयारी करते हैं आप एफएम की प्रॉपर्ली?
Exactly, I would have referred to the basics, and like I would have followed this approach of following the previous year papers. One second. Yeah, I would definitely have referred to the previous year papers and known which topics are important and would have covered them first. But then again, I would also have referred to the basics and everything of. I would have completed this syllabus wholeheartedly, I would say. Yeah, if I had the time. I think I referred to some of the notes of EduTap also. They were helpful in covering some topics. So I would have referred to some maybe books, some reference books or some PDF only. Yeah.
अच्छा हुआ कि अभी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी.
Yeah, I was actually referring to many PDFs to know before the result, because the result was delayed for a long time. I was thinking that if I have to prepare again, what all corrections I'll make, and I definitely had an idea that finance अब अच्छे से करना पड़ेगा यार.
नहीं, आपके नंबर बहुत अच्छे हैं. 80.25 is a really good score. People who have even read, books, they have even not been able to score this. So previous year question is really the key. कि कौन से टॉपिक्स इंपॉर्टेंट है ना, कौन से पढ़ने, कौन से छोड़ने, और ये तो छोड़ने ही नहीं है, ये तो 100% पता होना चाहिए.
And I think सबसे पहले I think you should cover management because it is static in nature. And अगर उसकी weightage 47-48 भी रहती है, then also it is a very good score to get in management. You should just ensure कि आप management को एक भी marks आपका कम नहीं होना चाहिए. You should score full in management.
Right, yes. Because I think management is pure management. Finance is, it is having current affairs also.
Yeah, then current
affairs. Yeah.
Yeah, current affairs, then you do not know numericals आएंगे कि नहीं, then you do not know basic आएगा, then you do not know कौन सा portion आएगा. Management is like छोटा सा PDF है, कर लो सब कुछ अच्छे से. So it is really, I would say, it has a good return, definitely a very good return.
ठीक है जी. Mitali, now coming to the current affairs of finance. Yeah. Because you have told about the current affairs of ESI, the current affairs of GA. What about the current affairs of finance? Any specific preparation that is required?
I think I referred to some of the RBI circulars from their website, like because those days there were many guidelines coming in, like I think the payment and settlement guidelines were coming in. So I referred to those circulars, and the phase 1 preparation also helped, those PDF compilations. I used to watch some videos also to that explain the basic current affairs that are happening. And I think the GDP ratings that many organizations, the reports of many organizations, they are helpful in this paper also. Like I remember one question was there in which they had asked how much rating they have given for the GDP, how much they are like estimating the GDP. So I think I think compilations you can refer. I wouldn't say there is a necessity to read the newspaper for phase 2. Compilations, I think, cover mostly everything they cover.
Yeah. Actually, my next question was regarding the newspaper only. How important is it for phase 1, phase 2 interview?
Yeah, I think for interview, it's very important, definitely, because you need to know what all is happening and you need to have your own opinion on it. For phase 1 and phase 2, I think even if you are short on time, if you have a lot of time, you can definitely start referring to the newspaper from the phase 1 only, because it helps in building basics also, and then you are able to cover the current affairs from that also. But if you feel that you're less short of time, or if you are, because initially we spend a lot of time on newspaper. Like I remember when I used to prepare for UPSC, for the initial months, I used to spend like 4 or 5 hours on the newspaper only, making notes out of it, reading it, not knowing which portion is important. So if you think that newspaper is taking a major chunk of your day, so you shouldn't do newspaper then, I would say. But if you know how to cover newspaper in 1 or 2 hours, then it's beneficial, obviously. But I think mainly the importance of newspaper comes in for the phase 3 only, like the interview part only.
I understand. Mitali, now coming to the interview part.
Yeah.
Can you tell us 3 specific things? 1, how you need to prepare for the interview, number 1. Number 2, how cordial is the board? And number 3, are they checking your knowledge, or are they checking your attitude, or both?
Okay. So for the first part, I relied. I think the interview has mainly 3 pillars, and the first is your biodata that you submit. Secondly, it's your knowledge about RBI, and thirdly, it's the current affairs, your opinion about what is happening. So that the reading newspaper part becomes very important here. I think reading editorials is very, very important, and forming your own opinion, that is whatever is happening, is it right, and knowing how it can be corrected, what should be the way forward, and having a holistic idea is very important here of any issue. And for the other RBI, about RBI is also important. There is one PDF, functions and working of RBI. That PDF is very important to actually know what departments are there, what are they doing, what is they working. So, and also some of the speeches I refer to the RBI speeches on the website, and some circulars also I read, that what all is happening in RBI. And I think knowing this much about RBI is enough. If you are not working in a bank or everything, knowing what RBI does, its function, I think knowing this is also important, where you can fit in RBI and which department would you like to work if they ask. where you can fit in. And about the biodata, what I had done was I had circulated the biodata to many of my friends, and I had asked them to, send me questions, whatever they could think of. And also, I had prepared many questions myself also. I just listed them, and then I had prepared answers for all of them. So that way, I had prepared my biodata, and I had a lot of telephonic face-to-face interviews with my friends also, so that I get well versed with the questions from my biodata, that whatever comes, I am at least able to answer that. And yes, a chunk of my interview was from biodata. I had mentioned corporate social responsibility in my previous company that I used to participate in that. And they asked me the provisions of CSR, and then they moved to corporate governance also. That so that part was from my biodata also. Some part because I had worked in an IT company. So some part was like what technologies can be used, what central banks are doing worldwide in terms of technology, machine learning, AI. These things were also asked in the interview. So yes, by preparing your biodata wholeheartedly is very important for the interview. Yeah.
I understand. So I'll just summarize what she has said. Your the three pillars of interview preparation are: number one, your form that you fill after phase two; number two, the knowledge of functioning and working of RBI; and number three, the current affairs. So, any specific newspaper you would like to recommend after phase two for the interview phase?
I used to refer to the Economic Times and Live Mint, and I think they were helpful.
Okay, Economic Times and Live Mint. Fine.
Yeah.
Do you remember any questions that you were asked? Can you share them with us?
Yeah, so I think my interview started like they were just saying that you have worked in an IT company and they have nurtured you, and why do you want to switch? So basically, the question was why RBI? And then I think it moved to the CSR part. They asked the provision, which provision in the Company Act is there, and how much they should contribute, and what all. Like this, there was a discussion about CSR. Then I think another panel asked me about what is corporate governance, and then there was discussion or questioning about the corporate governance issues in public sector banks and private sector banks. The Kotak Mahindra case was discussed,
Okay.
and what they asked me like, what do you think what the RBI did was right or not, and then some economy based questions were also asked: the need of central bank, and the difference between money and currency, and functions of money. Like these questions were also asked, and then also then again it came to IT only, that what is the difference between AI and machine learning. And then one panel member asked me that where do you think you will fit in RBI? So I refer to the payment and settlement systems, that they are doing good in terms of technology. Then the discussion followed that what all banks are doing. What do you think that RBI can do in this like sector? So I guess yes, that was more of it. Yeah, there was grilling also in between, like
Okay.
yeah, that why did you leave your job? The chairman was, I think he was like, why did you leave your job? You did BTech in this field. You worked for 2 years there. I think they nurtured you. Why do you feel that only you can contribute to the society through RBI only? Yeah. So that was there. Yeah, I think the board was cordial. They were grilling. They were like corporate governance वाले issue पे भी they were like, आपको क्या लगता है RBI ने सही नहीं किया इस तरह से. They were grilling, but they were cordial. They like, it's not like, I think the main thing is maintaining your calm, even if they are grilling you, maintaining your calm and keep on smiling. Yeah, so that I think helps. And the third question that you asked, I think knowledge and personality both they are checking, not just personality or not just knowledge. I think the part that I mentioned, that maintaining your composure is also very important, that you do not get, nervous in that circumstance. So that is also very important. And knowledge, definitely they are checking. Yeah, that what knowledge you have. Yeah. So it has to be a mixture of both, I would say.
I understand. Thank you, Mitali, for that elaborate answer. Actually, I
Yeah.
missed one paper. I missed the descriptive English paper of phase two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please, can you shed some light on that? How you need to prepare, or how you need to divide your time between essay, press, ERC? What is the right strategy for that?
Yeah. So for descriptive English, like I had referred to many topper talks, and many of them had mentioned that they had not got enough time, or they had not prepared for descriptive English. So I had prepared for descriptive English. I I had prepared a list of topics for essays that I need to cover. I need to, have some fodder points for these topics. I was not able to cover most of them, but I did prepare some topics, so I knew how to like write an essay, how to cover the various dimensions. And my main focus in essay was to make it multidimensional, have many dimensions in it, add government schemes in it, add any committees, any problems they are facing, to add everything like that, and also to do not make any grammatical mistakes or some spelling errors. Do not make that. So that was my main strategy in essay. For Prezi, I just practiced one or two Prezi, and that was enough. That was all. And for comprehension, my main focus was that I should just like do that questions, or I should not repeat the phrases in the comprehension that are mentioned already. I should just write it in my own language. And I think I because I had enough time for the because I did the comprehension first. After that, I did the Prezi, and lastly, I wrote the essay. But in the very beginning, I had just prepared a structure of the essay that this is all I'm going to write. So even if I'm left with lesser time, I'll be able to write it. Yes, I was expecting a better score in English, but I think by
It's a
this
really
year's
good
standard,
score. It's a good score.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
by this year's standard, it's fine. Yeah.
I understand. So how many essays did you practice before the actual examination?
I think 5 or 6. I had just prepared a draft. I knew what points to write, how to cover an essay. Yeah.
Okay, right. And what was the time division? You told me the order: first comprehension, then Prezi, then essay. So do you remember the time division that you had in your mind for these three topics?
Yeah, I think I had allocated around 20 minutes to an essay, and then 15, 15, not exactly, I'm not able to remember,
Acha,
but I think, yeah, 15 minutes to Prezi and the rest to comprehension, I guess. Yeah.
acha, but
Because you
different.
had to type a lot in the comprehension, I felt, because I had to make sure that I'm not repeating the phrases and everything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. ठीक है ठीक है Mitali, I'm done with the questions. Anything you would like to tell the aspirants for the future aspirants of RBI Grade B? Anything specific or anything general?
Yeah, I would just like to say that the importance of the previous year papers is a lot, as I have highlighted. That is really important. So, and you need to have an idea that where should you start preparing from, because like we have talked that अगर आप ESI से शुरू कर दोगे, then you will be like 2-3 महीने हो गए मेरा ESI ही चल रहा है अभी तक. So you should cover management first, and then you should also see कि आपकी strength का क्या है, आप कहाँ पे ज़्यादा mark gain कर सकते हैं. तो वो चीज देखना is very important. And I think making a strategy and sticking to it, कि मेरा मतलब timeline is also very important, कि मेरा इतने time में इतना cover हो जाना चाहिए, and keeping a check कि मैं सही कर रहा हूँ कि नहीं कर रहा, that is also very important. Strategy and timeline, yeah, that is
And Mitali,
important.
when the result was getting delayed, because of this COVID pandemic, how did you, manage that? There must be some stress in your mind कि UPSC का first attempt देके RBI में switch किया, अब
Yeah, yeah.
RBI का result नहीं आ रहा, अगले साल RBI पता नहीं कब होगा, तो कुछ तो चल रहा होगा दिमाग में.
Yeah, definitely. I think मैंने और एग्जाम्स देखने शुरू कर दिए थे, because I wasn't really sure. Though I had a good interview, I was really apprehensive about my phase 2 scores, कि how much I would be getting. I was like, yeah, I had a good interview, but the opposite happened, I would say. But yeah, so I was preparing for other exams. I had filled other forms and I was preparing for them. Yeah, because the result was so delayed, I was like, ठीक है चलते हैं अपना तो देखते रहते हैं साथ साथ का. Yes, yeah.
अगर you are able to maintain that momentum कि और exams देते हैं, कोई issue नहीं है.
There was a time like I waited for 2-3 months, but when the cycle got extended, very extended, so I was like, yeah, फिर वही main तो financial security था ना दिमाग में, that I need to get a job, whichever it is. So yeah, that was there.
I understand. Thank you so much, Mitali, for your this interview. I'm sure it would help a lot of aspirants. मैं जैसे एक बार summarize कर देता हूँ आपने जो last में बताया. See, dear aspirants, it is really, really, really important. मैं आपसे हाथ जोड़ के विनती कर रहा हूँ कि previous year questions को मत छोड़ो. Previous year questions and syllabus. मैं बार-बार ये चीज बोलता हूँ, मैम ने भी आपको ये चीज बोली है कि आपके व्हीकल के 2 हेडलाइट्स हैं, अगर एक भी बंद हो जाएगी तो आपकी गाड़ी गलत डायरेक्शन में जाएगी ही जाएगी. तो if you want to do self study, it is very good, कोई इशू नहीं है, लेकिन always take the reference of previous year question and syllabus so that you understand what you need to read and what you need to leave. कोई भी sources पढ़ लो, बहुत सारा material available है, free में available है, लेकिन क्या पढ़ना है उसके अंदर, कैसे नोट्स बनाने हैं, वो तभी समझ पाओगे अगर सिलेबस और प्रीवियस क्वेश्चंस की आपको अच्छे से नॉलेज है। मेहनत लगेगी, 5-7 दिन लगेंगे
डेफिनेटली।
समझने में, लेकिन उसके बाद चीजें बहुत आसान हो जाएंगी, राइट मिताली?
या एग्जैक्टली, आई थिंक आपको बहुत पता चल जाता है कि किस टॉपिक को कितनी डेप्थ में पढ़ना है, आपको ये भी पता चल जाता है प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन से। एंड ट्रेंड्स तो ऑब्वियसली बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जैसे मैनेजमेंट में लीडरशिप मोटिवेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स है, उनमें से काफी सब्सटेंशियल पोर्शन उन्हीं का ही पूछा जाता है। तो आई थिंक दैट रियली हेल्प्स।
I understand. Thank you so much, Mithali, and congratulations
थैंक यू
once
सर,
again.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच।